us apply a special right triangle theorem. This is with a 30, 60, 90 degrees right triangle. So, what do we know? Let us remember that hypotenuse is equal to 2 times of the shorter leg. The longer leg is equal to a shorter leg times the square root of 3, while for a shorter leg is equal to 1/2 of the hypotenuse, or the longer leg divided by the square root of 3. We are going to deal with a 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees angle of a given triangle. So, let us identify the parts. What is X? Short leg. How about the Y? Correct. It is the long leg. How about 6? What do we call 6? This is the hypotenuse. Now let us try to answer this problem. How do we get a shorter leg? It is 1/2 of the hypotenuse. So let us write that. To find X is equal to 1/2 of the hypotenuse. So what is our hypotenuse? Correct. 6. So what is 1/2 of 6? 3. Now we have the value of our short leg is equal to 3. Now to find the longer leg, we are going to multiply the shorter leg with the square root of 3. So to find y, we are going to multiply the short leg times the square root of 3. And our short leg is equal to 3 times the square root of 3 is that. So our y here is 3 square root of 3. This given, what do we know? Let's have the short is equal to 8. Our long is equal to x. Our hypotenuse is equal to y. Given this short leg, it's easy to find the hypotenuse because the hypotenuse is twice the shorter leg. So to find y is equal to 2 times of the shorter leg. So that's y is equal to 2 times 8. So y is equal to 16. The hypotenuse is equal to 16. Now let's find the longer leg. The longer leg is x. To find the longer leg, short times the square root of 3. So the measure of our short is 8. So x is equal to 8 times the square root of 3. So the answer is 8 square root of 3. So this is now 8 square root of 3. X is the shorter leg or the short leg. Y is our hypotenuse. And 12 is our long leg. So how do we find the values of x and y? What do we know? The long leg is equal to short leg times the square root of 3, right? Substitute. The long leg is 12 is equal to short, which is x, times the square root of 3. Solve for the value of x. Let's rewrite it here. 12 is equal to x square root of 3. To find x, we multiply both sides by 1 over the square root of 3. So this is now x is equal to 12 over square root of 3. But as we know, we cannot have a square root in the denominator. So we need to rationalize. So 12 over the square root of 3 times the square root of 3, that's equal to 1, is equal to x. Now we have 12 square root of 3 over the square root of 9. 12 square root of 3 over 3 is equal to x. And then we divide 12 and 3. That makes it 4 square root of 3 is equal to x. So this is now, our x is 4 square root of 3. Now let's solve for y. The hypotenuse is equal to twice of the short leg. So that would mean y is equal to 2 times the shorter leg, which is 4 square root of 3. So y is equal to 2 times 4, 8 square root of 3. So this is our hypotenuse. Now let's check if it is correct by substituting. To find the longer leg, we have square root of 3 times shorter leg. Let's just try. Let's find the long leg. So that's square root of 3 times the shorter leg. The shorter leg is 4 square root of 3 times the square root of 3. So that would mean 4 square root of 9. The square root of 9 is equal to 3. So 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Now you see that our long leg is given 12. For our problem, let's have the longer side of a 30, 60, 90 degrees right triangle is given by 8 square root of 3. What is the measure of its height and the hypotenuse? So first, we are going to sketch the triangle given. Okay, so let's assume that this is a perfect right triangle. This is a 30 degrees. So we have this as our shorter leg, and the longer leg, which is given, is 8 square root of 3. Now, we are going also to find the hypotenuse. Again, x is the height, which is the shorter leg, and the hypotenuse is our y. Now, what do we know? We know that the long leg is equal to short leg times the square root of 3. So, let's substitute 8 square root of 3 is equal to x, which is the short, times the square root of 3. So, we're going to divide and multiply both sides by 1 over square root of 3. So now x is equal to 8. So we have the shorter leg is equal to 8. Now how do we find the hypotenuse? The hypotenuse is twice the shorter leg. So what is twice 8? If this is 8, what is twice of it? Yes, so the answer is 16. That's it. Now we're going to deal with a 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees triangle, which is also known to be as an isosceles triangle. Let us remember, in an isosceles triangle, there are two sides that are congruent. So let us first identify the parts that we have in this given triangle. This is the side and this as well. So they are the congruent sides because they are opposite the congruent angles. Now let us name the parts. We have the side, which is equal to 8. How about the measure of this side? Let's make it as y. So this is also y. So the other leg is also 8. Okay? Because they are congruent sides or legs of the right triangle. So to find the hypotenuse, we are going to remember that hypotenuse is equal to the leg times square root of 2. And so our hypotenuse is x is equal to our leg given is 8 times the square root of 2. So the answer for our hypotenuse is 8 square root of 2. That's it. In this given, let us analyze the parts. Let's have this. What do we call y? Yes, it is our hypotenuse because it is opposite the right angle. How about 14? What is 14? It is a leg. Now, how about the x? We are going to find it is also a leg. And how do we describe the leg of a 45 degrees triangle? The legs are congruent. So, x now is equal to 14. Find y, we multiply the leg times the square root of 2. So, y is equal to 14 times the square root of 2. So, now our y is equal to 14 square root of 2. For this given, let's have the parts. What do we call this 8? It is opposite the right angle, so it is the hypotenuse. Okay? Now, how about x? What do we call x? The leg. Remember, the legs of a 90 degrees triangle are congruent. Hypotenuse is equal to the leg times the square root of 2. So, for this case, the hypotenuse is equal to 8. Is equal to the leg, which is the unknown, times the square root of 2. So, to find the value of x, we multiply 1 over the square root of 2. So, x is equal to 8 over the square root of 2. To find x, we need to rationalize because we cannot have radical in the denominator. So we have 8 square root of 2 over square root times the square root of 2 over the square root of 2. So this is now 8 times square root of 2 is 8 square root of 2 is equal to x over square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4. And then we simplify. So, 8 square root of 2 over the square root of 4 is 2. Simplify more. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then square root of 2. So, this is now the measure of the leg. X is equal to 4 square root of 2. To check, let us try hypotenuse 8 is equal to the leg, which is 4 square root of 2 times square root of 2. If this will be equal, then our answer for side, which is 4 square root of 2, is correct. So we have 4 times square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4. That would mean square root of 4 is equal to 2. 4 times 2 is equal to 8. Then our answer is correct. What do we know? We have the leg is equal to 6 centimeter. And we are looking for the hypotenuse, which is x. To find the hypotenuse, we multiply the leg and the square root of 2. So we have here the hypotenuse x is equal to the leg, which is 6, times the square root of 2. So that is our answer. The value of x in this case is equal to 6 square root of 2. And what is the value of y? This is 6.